Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of the Mind of Mando. I'm your host, Armando Ortega, and I just want to say I hope everybody's doing great. If you're just trying to kill time at work, I hope I help you out. Or maybe you work graveyards, just getting some quick rest. I hope you have a good day's sleep. Today, just a little relaxing. You know I've been nerding out the last couple of episodes, except yesterday. Yesterday was a little more of a, man, this really happened type of topic. But I hope you guys hear in the background, I have some relaxing jazz on for you. Give me a second. My AC just turned on. Hold on. You know, part of me felt like that was gonna happen, but I just didn't check it, so that was my fault, to be honest. So yeah, let me push this right in real quick. Well, for me right now, I'm gonna be opening up a nice cold bottle of Pure Leaf real brewed tea with lemon. Hold on. Super delicious. To be honest, let me see. Excuse me. It's like you can make this. Just brew up some black tea. Remember, tea leaves. If you want the best brewed tea, I recommend getting a food thermometer or a laser thermometer or whatever, and putting it in the water that you're heating up, because each type of tea has a different temperature that is recommended for you to, use in order to brew it. To, how do you say it? Make it good. Make it taste as best as possible. And I don't know what it is for black tea, but you gotta find out. It's how I'm becoming a little bit of a connoisseur about it. But yeah, no, it's just black tea and some lemon. Super good. You guys should try it out. So like I said, we're listening to some jazz right here in the background. I know you guys don't really get a shot of how I'm recording things, how everything around me looks like, or anything like that, and I totally get it, but I like describing it to you guys. And currently right now, my cat Peaches, she might jump off. No, I don't think so. She has these moments where she gets super lovey-dovey and everything, and I don't know why. We show her attention every single day, and I know we show all our cats attention every day, but some days she's just like, she's not rude, she doesn't try to get away, but she's like, I'm just minding my own business. And then she has her other days where she just doesn't want to get away from beside you. If you're laying down, she wants to lay down either next to you or on top of you. If you're doing something else, she'll be right next to you, just staring at you and placing her paw on your arm, trying to get you to pet her and everything. And that's what she's doing right now. I mean, like right now I'm petting her and she loves it, but if I stop, I know she's just gonna go right back into getting me to pay her attention. But that's just her. That's just Peaches. Good news though, I actually remembered to charge my battery up today, and so I can talk however long I need to talk, even though I don't think it's gonna. I think this is like, the battery on the screen says that it's only gonna be like 103 minutes. That's just an hour and 43 minutes. But in reality, the other episode, which is the longest one, I think it was an hour and 25. I remember before I cut it off, my battery still said I had like a solid 40 something minutes left, so I'm pretty sure it's closer to 2 hours. So yeah, hope you guys have all been doing well and everything like that. Like I said, I know the last episode was a little more of a what episode and everything, and I just did some more research and everything like that. So apparently this lady, the lady for the boba tea thing, when news gets so outrageous and everything that even it doesn't even matter really where you align yourself morally or politically or anything, etc., etc. there's certain things that certain people do that unites everybody together to just really look at that person and be like, just stop. Like, you're embarrassing yourself, and embarrassing us by association and everything. Yeah, that's basically what happened to her, like, a lot. And here's the thing. Yeah, no one is just gonna have like an entire multiple groups of people just not agree with them. There have been some people who are trying to, like, be like, oh yeah, no, I understand what she's saying, this and that, and it's just like, yeah, but that just means that you're not that smart either, so it's just weird. But basically what I was getting at is, like, she recorded it. Remember when I said, it's like, why would you record yourself trying to fight about something that, one, it's not even a problem, and two, if you really have no traction for your argument. But she recorded it and I guess placed it on her Twitter, and she came out saying, like, oh, appropriation and everything. I'm just guessing that she must have been dragged so hard on Twitter, has been dragged so hard on YouTube, on Instagram, wherever that video showed up and people were allowed to comment. She got dragged so hard because people started posting up her Twitter and her business, that because I think she runs a small business, I'm not sure, it's like hair products, that she ended up deleting her video and deleting her Twitter and then starting a new one. The only reason I know this is because I went around digging, trying to find out everything that I could find out and everything. And at first I thought it was just like one of those occasions where you have somebody who has a specific name and then you go look them up and you find something almost matching exactly to that person. But then you realize, wait, it just so happens to be somebody with a similar or the exact name, but that's not that person we're thinking about, I thought it was just one of those type of things, but it wasn't. No, she actually used her Twitter handle as her main name, and then how she has a different Twitter handle, I think, but she's purely focusing, I think, on like like business, which is fine, little personal things here and there, but it's just mainly business from what I can see. The only Twitter tweet I've seen her tweet out in this new profile she has that remotely, like, with that just references that video with the boba tea and her rant, she wasn't even apologizing. She just be like, yeah, I get a little bit embarrassed when I think about it, yada yada, or anything, and it's fine. I'm not saying, no, you should be ashamed of yourself. No, it's just like, you were dumb. And even though you may not even admit it in real life, I'm sure you realize it. But, she does what people usually do when they try and not admit that they were wrong, but also try and show that they're just not bothered by it, which is like, oh my God, I don't even care. Yeah, and this and that. And that's what she was doing. The thing is, it's just like, that was like later on in the year of 2020, because keep in mind, I believe this happened in August, the whole situation. But then, like, towards the end of the year, she was like, oh man, because I'm guessing that's when she deleted her Twitter and started a new one. But ever since then, she just hasn't referenced it. And I haven't seen really people, personally, I haven't seen people try and get it, like, go after her for that and everything. I'm not telling people to be like, oh, here's her Twitter, go harass her. No. I just find it funny because it's like, yeah, you're saying you don't really care, doesn't bug you, but in the end of the day, you had to delete the video, and at the end of the day, you had to delete your Twitter and start a new one because of just how many people were not falling for your victim complex or your quote unquote fight and everything, because more people than the people who agree with you just agreed that it's just it really wasn't an issue. Nobody found it an issue. No one at all thought it was a problem. Even people who are just like you didn't think it was a problem, because it wasn't. So that's why it's just like, it kind of cracks me up, you know. Yeah, so that's what it is. Honestly, like I said, there's been no other reference to that day for that video or whatever. And honestly, that's cool. That's fine, because that just shows that she's trying to how do you call it, draw as much attention away from that as possible, because I'm sure she realizes that that wasn't a high point in her life or in her social media history and everything. But you know, in the end of the day, that's gonna live on for the rest of forever and everything, unless the earth explodes and or technology is completely wiped and everything. But all we would have are our memories until we die. Yeah. But so that was just the whole thing. I thought it was pretty funny, and I wish I was able to go longer with the whole oh my god, you hear my cat in the background. She does this thing where she just like, she acts like she's a dog in the forest, just absolutely trying to dig a hole to hide a freaking dinosaur bone that they found and everything. Whenever she goes into cat litter, she's like, psh, 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 psh. Like, listen. Oh wait, no, she stopped already. Well, she's gonna start again soon, trust me. She just starts digging, like she's burying the biggest bone she's ever caught and everything. And it's just like, relax. Like, relax. Like, it gets to the point. I remember when we first got, because this wasn't a problem until we got our last two cats. They're sisters. Yeah, it wasn't a problem until we got the last two cats, because we used to have like an open cat litter and everything, and there was hardly any like cat litter that needed to be swept up from the floor or anything, because they dug their cat litter and then they did their business, covered it, and they just left. When we got these last two cats, Penny and Whiskey, I remember one time I went into the bathroom, and I kid you not, there was like probably half the cat litter that was actually inside of the box was now outside on the floor, because they just dig and dig like their life depends on it and everything. And honestly, I get mad, well, more annoyed than mad, but then I just try and keep remembering when we went to go adopt them. We originally were only going to adopt one of them, Whiskey. That was the cat my lady wanted. And the thing is, she was all the way in Lancaster, so I didn't want to, because I'm like, we have enough cats, and I never thought I was gonna be that type of person. I love cats. I grew up with cats and everything, love them, and if I can have as many cats as possible, and I have the means of taking care of them, giving them enough space, attention, and being able to keep clean after all of them, I would. But I know realistically I cannot, so I know I have to put a limit, and my lady knows that too. But she wanted this last cat for reals. We ended up making the decision to go to Lancaster, and it was actually a fun trip. It was. I forgot what time we left, but we listened to Jimmy Eat World driving all the way from San Diego to LA. And we stopped by somewhere in LA, and we tried some LA Mexican. Well, originally I wanted to take her to this LA breakfast place that was actually pretty popular from the looks of it. The thing is, it's just like, part of me knew we weren't going to be able to get in, because it was like, it was breakfast time on a Saturday morning. Of course you're not going to be able to get in until like an hour of wait or even longer. And that's what it was. It was over an hour of wait time. So we were like, listen, this was just a pit stop to get gas and to get something quick to eat, because we hadn't eaten yet. And so you were like, hey, listen, there's a, how do you say it, there's a burrito place a couple blocks down. It was a nice little Mexican place. Let me see if I can find it out. We stopped it here like March of 2021. It's been over a year already since we've been there, and honestly, it's like, I would love to go again, because like I love driving different places. She's still in the bathroom, Jesus Christ. Okay, I think it's here. It's called it's a Mexican restaurant called Machos tacos and everything. Machos tacos. Um, it's in LA on North Vermont Avenue. It was pretty decent. You know, when you travel to different major locations in California, you tend to taste how different Mexican food is in each region. And I mean, I grew up in the Bay. The Bay, you know, San Francisco is just the English way of saying San Francisco, which is just Spanish for Saint Francis. And there's a lot of Hispanics up in San Francisco. And Mexican food up there, that's what I grew up with. So, of course, I'm still going to love it. Haven't ever really had much Mexican food, but then living for the almost 6 years next month, to be honest, the almost 6 years of living here, I've tried a lot of Mexican food in San Diego, and it's very, very delicious. And I had so much Mexican food in the 6 years I lived down here that when we went to Los Angeles up last year and everything like that I was able to taste the difference for LA food. And when I went to go have Mexican, when I went to go see my family a few months ago, yeah, I was able to taste the difference between San Diego and San Francisco. And but honestly, I didn't dislike the one in LA. It was different. I'm glad I tried it, and honestly, I would go there again. And it was a bonus because after we were done, right across the street was a Starbucks, and we just went to go get how do you call it, some water and what is it? Yeah, some water and some what are those called? Those juices, refreshers. Yeah. Man, I used to be obsessed with those so much. And then after that, we when we got done, we just hit the road again. Hopped right back on the freeway, started heading north, and right before we hit Santa Clarita, we hit a right and started going straight to Lancaster. So the original point of what I was going about Lancaster was I try and remember the situation they were living in Lancaster, because the people we adopted from, they were basically saying that they wanted to make adopting cats, you know, their job, their lifestyle, because they love cats and they love knowing that these cats will go into a good home and everything. The thing is, you would think that they're doing that from, you know, a place they pay rent, a facility with like cages and play areas and designated bathroom areas and all that stuff. They all have a schedule to get fed, to get cleaned up and all that stuff. No, absolutely not. We got there. It was pretty rural, not too rural, but pretty rural. Rural. I can't say that word. Rural. Yeah. There you go. So, hold on, let me drink some tea. Sorry, guys. It's delicious. Oh man, gonna make some more tea pretty soon. So yeah, but it was a home. That's the whole thing. It was a decent sized home, and we knew we were in the right spot because of all the cats that were outside. Yeah, this must be the place. We got out of the car. We go to meet up with the lady who's sitting outside. We're like, hey, she's smoking a cigarette. Like, all right, at least you're doing it outside. We get guided inside the house. Oh my god. We went inside and immediately the smell of just concentrated cat litter like just hit my nose, hit everything, and I knew my lady felt that too. And then we were taken to a bedroom, and when I tell you that it was so stuffy in there with the smell, the odor of old cat litter, cigarettes, and dander, let me tell you, holy crap. The room had so much stuff in it that I swear, I 100% guarantee you that is so easy for any cat, especially smaller newborn ones, to absolutely get lost and smother and die somewhere in there. That's how packed that place was. It was insane. Like I said, if it was up to me, I would have just straight up taken every single one of those cats, because I'm like, you guys deserve somewhere better and everything. But we couldn't. We went there for whiskey. We got introduced to whiskey. There were so many cats that was just absolutely beautiful, friendly, and I was petting as much as I could. I loved them. So we went there and we found whiskey, and she was beautiful. She was funny and everything. And we were just going to buy her. That was it. We were going to adopt her, buy her, and that's it. But then they came out saying, like, yeah, you know, she has a sister here from the same litter, and they're the only ones that are actually related to each other. And we found her sister named Penny, and Penny is adorable. I'm looking at her right now, and she's just super comfy, sleeping on one of the blankets and everything. And so I looked at her, and I remember while I was looking at her and she was looking up at me and I was just petting her, I kept hearing them telling my ladies, like, yeah, you know, they're sisters, they're close, and you know, it's just like, if you take whiskey, we'll give you her sisters so they don't get separated. But I understand if you don't want them, that's okay. We just know we're gonna have to keep her forever because we won't be able to adopt her out after that. I don't know the logic behind that, but when I initially heard it, I was just like looking at her face and just looking at her and just slowly falling in love with her. And then I was just like, you know what? We're taking them both. Yep, we are taking them both. And that's exactly what we did. We adopted Whiskey and Penny for the price of only one cat. And once the deal was set, once we had him in there, we put him in the car, and they gave us some medication. They were like, listen, this is their medication. They have a problem with coughing and sneezing and everything, some problem with respiratory and all that stuff. We need to give them this medication with their wet food, this and that, yada yada. And they were walking us through it. We knew the reason why they had respiratory problems was because of the state of where they were living in. And it was difficult at first because the first, I don't know, maybe a couple of days, the first week or two, and they smelled, even when we brought them in here, they smelled like cigarettes. Hardcore. And I think Whiskey got a bath, or Penny, maybe both of them, I forgot. My lady did them. And they shampooed with cat shampoo and everything like that, and dried them out and brushed them and everything, and they still smelled like cigarettes, and it was terrible. And I knew it was probably one of those things where continual cleaning, but with time that would fade away. And we gave them medication as time kept going, and we knew that now that they were out of that environment, they weren't going to have that respiratory problem last a little longer. And like a month later or so, the cigarette smell went away, and their breathing is completely fine. Like, they haven't at all had any of the issues that they had when we got them. And it's about time for their checkup. We still got to take them to the vet, make sure that they're good, they don't need anything and everything like that. But it's they're doing great. They're happy, they're lively. The thing about them too is just like, I think with so many cats in that place, it's kind of the thing that they had to like struggle to get a decent meal every day, even though there was like a lot of food bowls laying around, because when we got them, we were able to feel that they were both very skinny, like super skinny. And I noticed the other week because we have a window here that only opens somewhat large. It's big enough for a cat to get through that, but if they do, they're gonna die because we're on the 7th floor and we have no balcony. But like they love standing on this crate thing my lady has for her stuff. They love standing on that and then standing on their hind legs so they can just, sniff the air outside while the window's like just cracked open slightly. And it's only cracked to the point where they can't push it any further, but it lets air somewhat flow and they can't squeeze themselves through that. I noticed that when Penny was standing up and everything, that she was getting plump, that she was getting very plump, and she was not that size when we got her and everything. And I'm like, well, look, they eat great. My lady loves giving them tuna time to time, and they eat great. They eat daily. They have water every single day. 2 of the cat litters and everything like that. So 2 filled up, they go to the other one, and then we clean it all out. And they have we don't smoke. My lady and I, we don't smoke, so they don't have to worry about cigarette smells at all. On top of that, there's constant ventilation in this house. They can run around. They can, if they want to go to sleep, they don't have to worry about being bothered or kicked out of their spot or anything. And they sleep and they're comfy. They have a cat. My cat Chef is sleeping on the tree. My cat Peaches is literally to the left of me, just sleeping. My cat Penny is over there to the right. My cat Whiskey, she loves making herself at home in the bathroom. I don't know why, but she just loves the bathroom. It's her safe space, I think. And then my cat Kiwi, she loves chilling at a certain spot underneath the bed. She only come out sometimes either to eat, drink, use the bathroom, or just chill with me, But that's really it. So yeah, so back to the original point. Because of them living that way with multiple, and I'm talking about 100 cats or more than 100 maybe, or around 100. Because of all that, because having limited food bowls, because having limited water bowls, because of having limited kitty litters, and being in an area that's stuffy and or smoke and everything, I'm sure that's the reason they still somewhat have the habits that they have now and dig so aggressively when in the cat litter. And honestly, if you see them walk around and everything like that, they know what they want. They know what they want to do. And unless it's me, or unless it's my lady, they're not gonna let any other cat stop them. They walk around with confidence, and I love it. I love it a lot. So yeah, but that was the story about Whiskey and all them. And you heard it. I don't know how I jumped about Boba being racist to my cats and how they dig in litter, but yeah, that happened. How do you say it? What was this saying? Oh yeah, some topic, the update that I read yesterday was this. I know I spoke about this 2 times before, and this is going to be number 3. And believe me when I say it's not the Will Smith thing. No, it's a update number 3. Oh wait, is it the 3rd update? I guess you could say update number 2, because I the first time I talked about it initially, which wasn't an update, it was just me talking about it. Then the second time I did it in video, that was the update. That was the first update. And this is going to be one after it. This is part 3, but update number 2 of Lauren Pazienza. I'm getting her last name down. What is that, Italian or something? I don't know. Lauren Pazienza. So, just a quick recap. Lauren Pazienza was somebody who was born into wealth, basically. I'm not saying her parents are quadrillionaires or anything like that, but they're definitely well off for the rest of their lives. So Lauren Pazienza, she is 26, I believe, and And yeah, she's 26. She is, how do you say it? She was arrested for shoving an 87-year-old and everything, Barbara Gustern. So when I initially spoke about the update, well, about Lauren, I was saying that Lauren had people who, after her arrest and everything, how do you call it? Basically confessed that Lauren was not a good person. You know, whether she was a roommate to somebody, her roommate didn't like her neighbors didn't like her, people who knew her just did not like her. And it's like, you're never gonna be liked by everybody in this world. Trust me. What you could be doing something simple as just doing your job, or you could be doing something that you're just honestly not trying to offend or hurt anybody, but somebody takes it that way. No matter what happens in this world, nobody on this earth will ever walk on it and not have somebody not like them. But here's the thing. Lauren gave multiple reasons as to why no one should like her. And it's not like anybody had like a vendetta against her or just hated her guts for whatever reason. No, it's people, majority of the people she came across with just never liked her. And that was just a judgment all these people made based on her character, who she is as a person. Well, anyways, one day Lauren, since we didn't have all the information, we had as much as we could gather when I first spoke about it, and then a little more the second time I spoke about it. Now it's coming out with a lot more. So basically, Lauren one day was walking out of the subway, I believe, and she was having an argument with her fiance and everything. Yeah, she was having an argument. We've all been there. No couple, whether dating, engaged, or married, will ever be perfect. We will always have our arguments. And everybody knows that. It could be for the most serious, very important things, or it could be for the dumbest things, you know? But we will all have our arguments. So, Lauren is having an argument with her fiance. She's exiting this subway station and everything. And here's the thing. We can all get mad, but we all know self-control and everything. No one, at least not rationally, will ever think that, hey, I'm mad at this person I'm going out with. Let me take it out on a perfect stranger, you know? And that's exactly what happened. So basically, she was arguing with her fiance. I said it was like 3 times already. And I think it was after the argument, 87-year-old Barbara Gustern, she just happened to be crossing paths with Lauren. And Lauren called her a female dog and shoved her. And here's the thing. And this is for the lady who commented on my stuff. The first video I did, I said, hey, you're speaking in a way where the way you're making it sound is that you were there and you witnessed absolutely every single thing, how it happened, as it happened. And when her case goes to court, to be there and testify on her behalf, because she is truly innocent, make sure that no one innocent goes to jail. You know, not a crazy thing to say, but yeah. Well, anyways, the fact that I'm here on the second update, the third time talking about this girl, it's still saying the same exact thing I just said in the first one, just shows that, how do you call it? What's being said out there isn't misinformation. It isn't people trying to alter the truth. Multiple sources are reporting the same exact thing. So who do you think people should really believe? One person who very likely was not even there to witness any of this stuff, or multiple sources citing the same exact thing, you know? Think outside of the box, but come on. When evidence is pointing one direction, it's going to take a lot more than a YouTube comment to persuade so many people that it's the wrong direction, you know? Well, anyways, she calls her female dog and she shoves her on the floor. The lady ends up hitting her head, cracking her head open. She's bleeding. If you smack your head against the floor hard enough where your head starts bleeding, you've hit the floor really, really bad. Anyways, Lauren kept walking. And here's the thing. There's now video evidence showing that Lauren stayed in the area. She didn't stay there to wait for the ambulance to arrive. She wasn't just being like, no, ma'am, please, hold on, ambulance is here, or anything like that. No. There's video evidence of her going away, but lingering around the area, watching the lady as she's helped by paramedics, put onto a gurney while her head is bleeding, and putting inside the ambulance so she could go to the hospital. She was there witnessing the entire thing from a distance. There's multiple sources that are confirming that Lauren deleted her social media, deleted everything about her, including her save the date RSVP for her wedding, which I think wasn't too far from that point. But you know, the thing the commenter said was, yeah, you know, she was distraught because she broke up with her fiance, who's Asian. One, why is his race relevant? You know, why do I care if he's Asian? Okay. And two, she's distraught because she broke up with her fiance. Probably, but not because they had a disagreement about money or about the future or anything. Maybe it's because if that happened, it was because he found out that she is responsible for killing an elderly woman for no reason. And he was like, no, I'm not going to stay with you after this. Hell no. So, what do you call it? She didn't go dark for that reason. She went dark because she found out she's the reason this lady died. She is the reason this woman lost her life. If Lauren hadn't pushed this lady very likely would still be alive to this day, enjoying her life. But no, Lauren had to cut it short. You know, because why? Because she was angry at her fiance at a Subway or whatever. I don't know. Give me a second. I'm gonna drink a little more tea. Oh my god, tea is great. Excuse me. So that was the whole thing. Well, that wasn't the whole thing. That was part of the things. So yeah. Barbara Gustard unfortunately lost her life at 87 years old. And from the photos that were put out again about her, it looks like she was still very lively. Who knew? Who knows? Maybe she would have even had a couple more years left in her. Some people live up to like over 110 years old. That's crazy, you know? But, how do you call it? Lauren, took her phone apart, I believe, hid her phone at her aunt's house, left and went back to her parents' house in Long Island and hid out there. No, she did not hide out there for mental stability or recovery and then turn herself in. No, she was arrested at her house. The law had to get her. So, how do you call it? She went to jail. She was booked, did everything like that. Her mother ended up bailing her out of jail for $500,000 and everything. Maybe in the future we'll get into the whole topic of is bail ethical or anything like that. But yeah, her mother bailed her out for $500,000. But that was just to bail her out of jail until her initial court date to find out exactly what her charges are going to be. And how she pleads and what they're going to do with her after that. So basically, and this is to the commenter also, when it comes down to when the person either pleads guilty, not guilty, or no contest, when it comes down to, hey, are we gonna let this person, you know, sit in jail and then have to post bail again or anything like that? It always has to do with what the justice system, what the judge believes that person's going to do, basically. When if someone goes like, how do you plea? Oh, not guilty. So, all right, well, you're going to be going to this place, yada yada. Bail is however much money they decide bail is. But that's if the judge feels, with everything that's happening, taking everything into consideration and thinking about it, that's if the judge feels the person is the type of person to post bail and then show up for the court dates and everything. The people they don't grant bail to are generally people who pose a flight risk. Where do you think a judge, like somebody who's done everything as best as they could their entire life, somebody who always shows up whenever they need to show up, anybody who does what they're supposed to do, you think a judge is going to be like, you do everything that you need to do. You've given us absolutely zero reason to believe that you would ever do anything that would harm you. So, no bail. No, the judge isn't going to do that. They're going to look at people and be like, hey, you did all this and you decided to run until you were found. Yeah, let's just give you bail. No, they're going to look at you and be like, hey, you ran even though you knew that you were wanted? Yeah, no, you're a flight risk because you'll probably try and do that again. So, no bail. And that's exactly what happened. Lauren got no bail after her plea and everything like that. So right now, last night was actually her first night in Rikers because, it happened in New York and she's in Rikers right now. So she's in Rikers. And last night was her first night in jail. Thing about this is I'm not being like, I hope she feels everything or anything like that. I'm not trying to be, she pleaded not guilty and everything like that for first-degree manslaughter and 2 counts of second-degree assault and everything. Especially like hiding your phone at your aunt's house and then hiding out at your parents' house until they got to the house and found you and took you in. And on top of that, knowing that you're possibly facing as much as 25 years in prison. Yeah, no wonder they didn't grant you bail because of a flight risk, because I honestly would believe you would run. Well, she would run. No, she's never going to hear this, so why am I talking straight to her? Anyways, when did this happen? Lauren, she was in Supreme Court May 10th. So yeah, yesterday. Yeah, I knew it. So, how do you call it? Damn, she was 100 days before her wedding. That was like just over 3 months. So I'm just trying to make sure I have all my facts straight. That's the whole thing about this. Like, yeah, maybe I already have, and I possibly will in the future. I might talk about something that I don't have all the facts, because not all the facts have been presented yet, and I'll give my thoughts about it or just say what I know. But new stuff comes out. I'm gonna update and everything, and I'll probably read while I'm updating, because I just want to make sure that I have everything squared away and straightened up and everything like that. It says right here that she was scheduled to get married in June, and the defendant of her fiance, who were scheduled to marry in June, we're celebrating the 100th day before their wedding, according to court papers. That's insane. So yeah, basically, what do you call it? Let me read you guys from this article right here. So it says, a park staffer told them, because I guess her and her fiance were at a food truck in Chelsea Park, which is a block away from where the assault happened. A park staffer told them they had to leave because the park was closing, sending Pazienza into a rage. If someone's telling you, hey, listen, you guys got to start wrapping it up, we're closing and everything like that, and your response is to just rage, yeah, no, that you had zero discipline growing up. Absolutely none. And that's the parents' blame at fault too, because it's just like, yeah, no. Anyways, Pazienza into a rage. She threw her food onto her fiance and stormed out of the park. Dude, bro, why were you trying to marry her? Imagine you guys getting food and someone goes, like a park official actually goes, a park staffer goes, hey, gotta wrap it up. We're closing. Next thing you know, your woman rages and she throws her food at you. Why are you staying with her? You know? Anyways, so she threw her food at her fiance and stormed out of the park. That's when Pazienza charged down West 28th Street, ran straight for Gustern, called her, female dog, and shoved her so hard she bashed her left side of her head. Yeah, bashed her left side of her head. It said moments later, Pazienza called Pereira. I think it sounds Indian. Is he Indian? Naveen Pereira. Yeah, I think that's Indian. So she called her fiance and asked him to meet her. She allegedly berated him for ruining her night without mentioning that she had attacked an elderly woman, according to prosecutors. So she was told, hey, listen, we're closing up. Thought it was appropriate to rage, threw her food at her fiance, whom they were just spending the night together, ran down, saw Gustern, called her a female dog, shoved her, made her hit her head in the concrete, kept going, and then called her husband to meet her up just to completely talk crap to him and leave out the fact that she shoved an elderly woman on the floor and saw her get taken away in an ambulance. And what? What kind of human being is this? I mean, there's a lot worse human beings out there, but this person, it's not the fact that their acts were heinous, even though they were. It was more the fact that this person's a brat. At 26-year-olds and everything, she's a brat because of zero discipline, no firm hand on her side of her growing up. And she did all this. Keep in mind, this is the response she had by somebody saying, hey, listen, we're closing up. Just got to keep going. That was her response. I'm reading this from this article and everything like that. It says, before the couple headed back to their Astoria apartment, she allegedly stood in the middle of West 29th Street, looking directly at the ambulance outside Gustern's building. Oh my God. So she met up with her fiance, talked some crap, left out that she shoved an elderly woman, and then when they were walking back to their apartment, she stood there looking down the street to watch the ambulance there. Only after they returned home that night did Pazienza tell her fiance what she had done. Okay, so now she admitted it. When he asked why, she allegedly answered that the victim might have said something to her, but she wasn't sure. Hearsay. Well, it's not even hearsay. It's just, how do you say it? It's just somebody being delusional. Oh my God. She might have said something, which is the reason why I chose to call her female dog and shove her and have her hit her head on the floor that hard. She might have said something. Might. Imagine if that was a reasonable justification for anybody to do anything. You know how bad the world would be? Well, how much worse the world would be? I can go up to literally anybody I don't like and absolutely wail on them until they can't stand anymore on their own, and have an ambulance show up and have to take him on a stretcher to the hospital. And my reasoning, well, they might have said something. I'm not sure though. Okay, yeah, no, that's understandable. What? Oh my God. That was her only explanation. This thing says. A few days later, after Pazienza saw a newspaper report indicting Gusner had died, her fiance told investigators she became really scared and nervous and fled New York City. The papers say. Sorry if that was loud. There you go. Yeah, commenter, whatever your name is, if you're even real. But there you go. There you go. She learned that this woman she shoved died. She is no longer living on this world. And her response isn't to just break down, be like, oh my God, what have I done? I need to turn myself in, like any people worth a damn would do. No, her response was, oh my God, I'm nervous. Let me just leave. Let me run away. Oh my God. She deleted all her social media, including her wedding website. She had a website for her wedding. And hid out at her aunt's house. Pereira allegedly told authorities. I don't know how to say his name. After police knocked on the door of her parents' Long Island home, Pazienza turned herself in. Okay. So that's where the whole thing of she turned herself in. No, he got her at their parents' house comes in. So yeah, she turned herself in, but she only turned herself in when the police were already knocking at her parents' door. That was it. That was it. Like, let me ask you something. Do you think if the police just never, ever went and knocked on her parents' door while she was hiding out, would she have turned herself in? Do you think? Yeah, no, probably she could. Probably not giving her enough credit for the content of her character. Maybe. But given everything that she had already done up to that point, it's not unreasonable to think that she would have never turned herself in. Because there have been many people who have committed heinous crimes throughout history who hadn't been caught until decades later. And there's some people on this earth that most likely have just never been caught at all. Or people who already died who had never been caught at all for the crimes they've committed. You know? So it's possible that she had never turned herself in. So yeah. But yeah, so it's crazy how her lawyer, I get it, they're her lawyers. They're gonna try and get her out from enough time as much as possible. But it's just like, honestly, it's like, I wish I could put lawyers aside and be like, hey, yo, dude, do you think she did it? And I wish they could be like, yeah, no, dude, she did it. Like, she did it. But I need this paycheck, though. So, yeah, well, anyways, my thoughts about this. My thoughts is what I was saying initially on the first time I spoke about her was correct. Yes, she did it because she's a brat and has no consequences. She, how do you call it? She grew up with no discipline. And she's just not a good person. At 26 years old. Come on, man. At 26. Your life... I know I say I'm old because I'm 28. But I'm only 2 years older than she is. At 26, your life is still beginning. Think about it. This poor woman... This poor woman was, 87 years old. That's insane. She was 61 years older than Lauren. 61 years older. And she was still lively from what we can see. I'm just judging this from photos. Because from photos, it looks like she's still very happy and healthy and everything like that. If those photos were to be recent. But this woman was 61 years older. than Lauren. And how do you say it? And she still looked lively, which most likely meant that she probably still had some couple years of natural life left. And then you have Lauren, whose life is barely scratching the surface. I just ended all, just being a brat and everything, no discipline ever growing up and everything. And here's the thing, and this is to the person who commented, I don't remember your name. When I said that Lauren was not the type of woman that you'd break your neck over to try and get a second glance, yeah, no, I meant it. It's the truth. I'm looking at more photos, the ones who weren't filtered out and edited and taken at angles, like on her social media, but I'm looking at the one, basically her mugshot and everything. Yeah, no, Lauren, you would not break your neck trying to look at her twice. At all. And this is like, I think it was Yellow Flash who was saying that calling her a socialite, basically somebody who makes their living all through social media and everything like that. And that's exactly what she was. But it's just like, you had no reason to be as cocky, as full of yourself as you are, or as she is, because she's not going to be hearing this. I don't think so. And it's like, come on, you lashed out in some unwarranted anger or unjustified anger, and as a result, you are the reason this little woman who was just going on about her day, loving piano, is no longer here. And that's just where we're at with this chick. You know, just absolutely not worth it at all. Had zero. Oh, is this her and her fiance? I'm looking at a photo right now. Yeah, he is Indian. Yeah, no, he is Indian. All right. So yeah, that's just the whole thing about what I have to say about Lauren. Back what I was saying originally, what do I think about this and everything? I think she's getting what she deserves. To be honest, I know, because I thought about this too, but I know a lot of people would also think that this girl, due to the fact that her family is very, very wealthy. I mean, hell, at a drop of a dime, her mother used $500,000 to post her bill and everything like that. That because money talks and everything, this girl is going to be walking free, or walking with just an embarrassingly laughable, short, small, barely anything sentence, you know. But because I feel like this has just, at least from what I'm noticing, just got so much traction and everything. This is huge, that people are looking at her and being like, look, shouldn't matter how much money. Yeah, he is an Indian, my bad. It doesn't matter how much she's worth, or how much her family can give and everything like that. She murdered this poor woman in cold blood. And yeah, no, she should not be let go from that. To which I agree. No, it's not even like you can walk around flaunting your own money. No, you were using your parents' money. You're using mom and dad's money and everything. Because what happened when crap hit the fan? You deleted everything, hid your phone at your aunt's house, and went back home to mom and dad to hide out until police came knocking to your door. So I believe that, yes, she's going to get some years in the pen or in prison, if not the entire 25 years. Yeah, she deserves it. She really deserves it. I try and think about it in this perspective, and maybe some of you can think about this too. Think of a family member you love the most. For me, it's my mother. She's my mother, you know? and you see her smiling all the time, or you see your whatever family member smiling all the time, or the person you care about a lot smiling all the time, of all the great times with them throughout all the time you've known them, only to find out that one day some 26-year-old spoiled brat who was mad because someone told her that the park was closing, so they needed to wrap up what they were doing, just went down the street, cursed at the person you care about the most, and just shoved them to the floor, causing their death. What would you want? I know what I'd want and everything. So that's just my whole thing. That's the way I think about it and everything. So yeah, so that'll wrap it up right now for the whole Lauren thing. She's in Rikers. She has no bail. I'm sure if they can appeal that, I'm pretty sure lawyers are going to try to. And she's going to stay there until, her, what is it, trial coming up or something? Whenever that'll be. I don't think it says. And if it does, I'll update you guys in the future. And she deserves it. She deserves every ounce of it. And then once her whole trial thing happens and everything, she deserves those 25 years. So yeah. Damn, how long would that be? She'd be 51. If she gets 25 years, she'd be 51. But that's if she goes in there while still 26 years old. If she goes in there while 27, she'll be 52. So yeah, imagine just doing something so stupid because you were a brat and now a huge chunk of your life is gone. That's insane. That's truly insane. I don't know what that guy is. Anyways, oh, my back kind of hurts. You guys ever had like stiff backs and everything like that? That's what I got. Well, in other news, something completely unrelated to embarrassment and being a brat and committing crimes. I am currently in a first world struggle for the fact that I am trying to grow my hair out. I haven't had my hair long like that since I was in middle school and everything. And when am I talking about my hair length? I'm talking about how my hair is heavy enough to how do you say it? To droop down, go downwards and everything like that. Like my hair is still, it's long, but it's still not long enough that weight and gravity can do its thing and just pull my hair down. So yeah, thank God I'm past, well, at least most of the way past the awkward phase. Because my hair, even though it is long, it still is working with me at this point to be able to be pressed down and go down whenever I fix it up with the comb and pomade and the blow dryer and everything like that. But it's like, how do you call it? If it gets too hot, if I sweat too much and everything, it still has that possibility of the sides of my head, my hair, like somewhat sticking up and everything. But yeah, it's difficult because I remember I used to cut my hair every 2 weeks, and I feel like letting my hair grow out for 2 weeks was already enough for me to be like, oh no, I need another haircut. I need a haircut and everything. But it's been, I want to say it's been a little bit, maybe a month and a half since I cut my sides, which you can tell because my hair is starting to somewhat rest up on the top of my ears and everything like that. It's not drooping over my ears yet. It's just able to just rest on top of my ears without falling down and stuff. And then the top of my hair it's long enough that what do you call it? I'm able to start kind of combing it backwards. But I have this in Spanish we call it remolino, but in English it's like a cowlick. It's like a swirl and everything like that. I have one of them, and it's like it swirls clockwise, which is causing me to have half of my hair be able to comb back absolutely no problem, but the other half of my hair it naturally wants to go forward and somewhat to the side. So that side, if I try and comb it back, it's just gonna stick up. That's all it is. I remember when I was little, my mom made me actually start combing my hair back. For a while, I struggled with the half of the back of my hair because it was always sticking up and everything. And then I discovered this trick as I grew older, where once I take a shower, I grab a brush and I blow dry my hair slowly while combing it backwards. Trying to get as dry as I can and start brushing it backwards while I'm blow drying it and getting it dry. So it somewhat tries to get used to be combed backwards. But once I'm done and my hair is going as back as possible, I just slide on a beanie. And I keep a beanie there for hours and hours and hours and hours, as long as I can. If I didn't have school the next day, it'd be better, because then I could just keep having my beanie on and stuff. And I just keep doing that. And then when I have it off, realistically only took a few hours. Once I have it on like that, when I take it off, my hair would be going back. And even that half from the back of my head on my left hand side, that was even pressed down. So I was able to finally put like some gel. If I wasn't using Blue Magic, I was using Moco de Gorilla Snot Gel. I was a fan of that one. It's like for so long. I still am. And I would put it in my hair, emulsify it and everything like that. And then just comb my hair back. And then like once it was able to come back to where it wanted, use some hairspray and just made it sure that it stayed that way. And for the most part, yeah, it did. For the most part, it worked. Because, and that was when I was still in high school, surprisingly. I would participate a lot in PE. So it wasn't like I wasn't sweating and it wasn't hot or anything. But I think that worked. Although it was a gamble. Because there were some days where I would do that. No deviations. And it just would not work with me that day. And it would be embarrassing when I would have to go to school or anywhere else and my hair wasn't working with me. I always wanted to be like, I'm not going today, this and that, but I couldn't do that. Come on. But sometimes what it would hurt the most was taking a shower at night, doing all that, and then putting my beanie on. The next day I wake up and my beanie's completely fine and everything like that, and I take off my beanie and everything's good. But then other times I would do the same exact thing and I would go to sleep and I wake up. Turns out my beanie either twisted around at some point in the night or fell off, that my hair wasn't able to be pressed back, and I just woke up looking like a clown. And I guess it's good that my barber in the beginning of the second semester of my senior year 10 years ago, he messed up, a new barber messed up my hair, because then I started combing it forward. I had no choice but to comb it forward because I had no hair enough left. He left me with not enough hair to be able to continue coming backwards, so I had to comb it forward. And I think that was a huge confidence booster, because not only was I not having to worry about my hair looking weird, I also had a lot of people in my high school, especially a couple of them that I had crushes on, tell me that they liked my hair and I looked nicer this way, and they really liked what I did and everything. And I was just like, whoo, huge confidence booster, man. I mean, like, homies for life. Kidding. But yeah, so I'm just trying to let it grow longer, because honestly I do miss long hair. I really do. And I want to grow it as long as I can, or I keep it as long to maintain it and everything like that. But honestly, if I feel like it's just not really going to go how I want it to go, I'm just going to cut it. Which the beauty part of it is I now have enough hair everywhere on my head that I can actually experiment with different hairstyles. So I'm just going to look at what I want, what I like, and go to this place called Floyd 99's in downtown and try it out. So yeah, that was just that's what I'm currently doing and everything. I'm trying to shop for patches because I'm trying to sew them before the 16th, before we go see some dying fetus and some Chelsea grin, and then have alligator bites and stuff. I've also been trying to motivate myself again to do Muay Thai. I've loved Muay Thai growing up. I've done freestyle wrestling. I've done boxing, American kickboxing, and then I transitioned to jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai. Jiu-jitsu, I used to actually compete back home when I was in the Bay, and I was actually able to get to a blue belt. And then I made the decision to move here to San Diego. And for me, I had no idea how different San Diego was. So I used to be like, yeah, no, I can just a few months down here and everything, and just save enough money and join the jiu-jitsu gym literally some ways down the road from where I lived. Do jiu-jitsu early in the morning, come back home, take a shower, make breakfast, watch TV, and then go to work. That's what I thought. That was my mentality, my reasoning. It did not work out that way at all. I moved down here June 4th, 2016, and I thought by September I'd be able to pick up jiu-jitsu again, continue doing it to the point where I could probably try competing again. No. How do you call it? 3 months ended up turning into 3 years, or almost 3 years, and it was embarrassing. And here's the thing, I did it again. Well, not jiu-jitsu. I wanted to start out with Muay Thai again, because I'm like, yeah, I've been mainly grappling my whole life, but I want to start striking now, you know? So I went, got some gear and everything. We only had my gis, and tried to start striking again, and I ended up falling in love with it. And I was like, yo, this is sick, this is lit, you know? And yeah, so that's what it was all about. And that's what I really started loving and getting into, and really finding my passion for. And it was incredible. But here's the thing, and it sucks saying this, even though I loved fighting, even though I loved training, and that's what I would look forward to a lot of my days, the thing that sucked about it was sometimes I get to the point where I feel like instead of it becoming something to escape reality from reality, or something that I can take my hard day out on, or aggression or whatever, it became a day where it became a thing where I just saw it as a routine. I just saw it as something I had to do now, you know, instead of actually wanting to do. And that's, at least for me, that's the worst thing that could happen. If I'm doing something fun that I love doing, but at some point it just it starts feeling like a chore for me, I'm just gonna lose motivation, and I'm gonna lose it. And unfortunately, that's what happened. Towards the end of December of 2019, January 2020, and everything, I started losing my drive, my motivation, my will to continue training. And it sucked, because I liked it while I was doing it, but then the idea of having to come back is what was killing me. So yeah, well, anyways, I was like, 2020 happened, gym opened up, I went a few more times, but then I was like, you know, I'm just gonna take a break for a little bit. And yeah, well, anyways, we all know what happened in 2020. We already know that this virus, this pandemic happened, and it really affected literally the entire world, unless you're in some rural undisclosed island where you have no contact with the outside world. I guess you didn't have to worry, but yeah, that's what it was happening. And you know, a lot of things closed, and that was my former gym. My former gym didn't close down, it just stayed closed. And yeah, well, anyways, they've been open for a while, but I've never found my motivation to go back. Even if I would envision myself when I was training, be like, yeah, I want to get to this point, I want to get to that point, this and that. I just never actually found the motivation to go back or the desire to go back. And here's another thing about me. I don't have the desire or motivation until something happens that makes me have to use the things that I've been training with before to actually make me be like, you know what? This was sick. I need to get better. I need to do it and everything. I think about like a month or two ago or so, on my way to work, I ended up almost running into this one guy. I had no idea who he was because we were both looking down on our phones, walking opposite directions. We almost bumped into each other. Keep in mind the word almost. We almost bumped into each other. I moved out of the way because I noticed the last second we didn't touch each other at all. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. And I kept walking. Heard this fool say something underneath his breath. I could have just been the bigger person and kept walking. But then he said something else. And that's when the old me started taking over, because I turned around and I was like, what? Oh my God, let me tell you, this guy was ready. This guy was ready to come out swinging and everything. Because he turns around, he's like, you heard me. And he just started calling me every slur he could think of. Everything. A lot of people like thinking about slurs and racism to be something that only affects black people. And I'm keeping it real right now. Yeah, they think saying slurs for black people is the worst thing you could ever do. You're terrible. You're insanely bad. This, and that. You're a horrible person. You're a racist. You're a Nazi, yada, yada. If you're ever going to say anything racist towards a black person, here's the thing that people don't think about. Oh, and that, black people are mainly the victims. Here's the thing that they don't think about. I know a lot of it has to do with personal experience, but it also has to do with the fact that I see both sides, basically. And my side is this. Ask me how many white people in my life, out of all the white people that I know, have said anything messed up to me. Almost none. I probably can count every single one of them in one hand. Almost none. And let me tell you, with everything I've done and everything I've worked in, I've met a lot of people. And let me tell you that the only white people that have ever were bold enough to ever say anything, any type of slur to me, were because they were literal white supremacists. And I don't mean like, oh, they support Trump. No. I mean, these dudes had swastikas tattooed. I'm not talking about the Indian swastikas that used before the time of Nazis. I'm talking about the Nazi swastikas. They had him tattooed. They had the Thunderbolts. They had Heil Hitler tattooed on their bodies. And they would walk around shirtless, parading them. So when I had to do my job because they were causing a disturbance where I was working at, what do you think happened? When I say they were literally white supremacists, I am telling you, they were. I'm not using that watered down version. I'm using the literal, this is what they were. You looked at them, you knew 100% this is what they were because they also told you what they were. And that's what it was. And here's the truth. You know how many black people have called me every name in the book, including every single slur for my type of people that they could think of? More than I can recall. When was the most recent time? Literally just a few weeks ago. It's like, and that's what people don't realize. These type of outbursts, these type of verbal insults, verbal attacks or whatever, can come from anybody. Because you know what else? You know how many Mexicans have said stuff like that to me also? A crap ton of them. They're just right behind black people. And that's from my personal experience. From mine. Not everybody else's. Maybe they have similar, but this is my personal experience. So that's exactly what happened that day. Well, he was ready. He was ready with these slurs and everything. So we end up getting closer and closer. I know if I start reaching his level when it comes down to the verbal barrage and everybody else is around, I'd be the attacker. Oh yeah, no. But this guy, I was just letting him bury himself verbally. And then it got to the point where this guy sucker punched me. It didn't knock me out or anything, but I was in shock. Not because I got punched. Well, yeah, because I got punched. But the reason was because of this. There is 2 videos, one of them on social media on Facebook, where it shows me getting swung on when I was trying to arrest the guy in Hemet, California. He swings on me. He has the drop on me. I don't know it's coming. Like, I'm trying to be cautious, but I don't know it's coming. He swings so fast. But because I was still somewhat training at that point, I dodged it. But you know how close this fool was? He was close because I still felt the air from his swing brush against my cheek. There was another time of somebody else who I was trying to stop at one of my jobs who also had the drop on me. But I was able to dodge that, no problem. Just leaning back because I was training hard. So here's the thing. At that point, 2 out of 2 times that somebody had to drop on me and try to sucker punch me, even if I was seeing it the very, very last millisecond, I was able to get out of the way. This guy was older. This guy looked slower. I should have been ready for it, but he connected. And that's what got me pissed off, because I knew the only reason this fool connected was because I neglected my training. I neglected it hardcore. So I got mad, ended up trying to recall everything I was doing, and it slowly started coming back to me. Everything slowly started coming back to me. How to do 3 quick jabs with the left. How to do a quick cross while stepping to the side. How to go fake under and go over. And I managed to push him on one side, so side of his body was facing towards me, slip right behind him to the other side, wrap my arms around him, pick him up and throw him on the floor and do him full mount. Everything started coming back to me, and I started just wailing on this guy. Yeah, he had a good amount of hits in, and it hurt for the rest of the day, but I just kept wailing on this guy. He finally stopped. He told me to stop. He asked me to stop and everything. So I get up and I jump away from him and I start taking a couple of steps back, just ready, because if this fool's gonna try and like get up and try and do some sneaky stuff, I was gonna try to be as ready as possible. And he got up and then he just grabbed his stuff, spit in my direction, just left. And I stood there just watching him, making sure that he wasn't gonna try and do anything else. As soon as this guy rounded the corner and I took a couple more steps backwards and I realized that he was not coming back or trying to come back, I left and I went straight to work. Didn't call in or anything like that. This was literally a few minutes before I was supposed to clock into work. I just went straight to work. How do you call it? After he left and I started going to work, that's when I let everything out and I realized that I was breathing really hard. And realistically, this fight only lasted like a minute. Like around a minute. I used to do 5 3.5 hour rounds back to back with barely getting winded. And now some fight that probably lasted around a minute got me huffing and puffing. No, that's embarrassing, dog. You know? But yeah, so that's what really opened my eyes and everything. And I feel like that's been a huge motivation that I needed, on top of also a couple episodes back trying to be part of Bart PD and everything. And I know I need it. I'm gonna do my very best to try and do it today and everything, to go to Muay Thai today, so I can get back into the swing of things. And I know when I do it, I'm gonna be happier. I'm gonna be a lot more energetic, because I already feel energized. I already feel like I'm able to walk a lot more. Oh yeah, the reason I feel like that is because I've been skating again. I will post up a video or a picture, probably just a video. It's going to be about my skateboard and how when I got it, the day I got it, brand new and everything like that. So it's gorgeous. It's a zero deck and everything. I have Rick the Cloud wheels along with Bronson bearings, and I have Venture trucks. I was trying to go for an all white theme, which I did with the Rick the Clouds, the zero deck, and the Venture trucks, because the trucks are white, hints of silver. The Rick the Clouds are white. The zero deck is completely white minus the zero logo with the word underneath it, but it's very small, and I didn't want to ruin it with a black grip tape. And where I got it, they didn't have any white grip tape. So what did I do? I asked, I was like, "Yo, you got clear?" And they're like, "Yeah, we got clear." And I'm like, "I'll take the clear. It's beautiful. I'll post up a video." I'm taking my time with this edit. It's probably not gonna be edited much enough. I'm also gonna try and fit in the whole nautical stuff. That was really fun. The whole nautical's filming is fun. Me and the guy I was working with, and the production I was working with, we're trying to set up another role in the future and everything, involving a bar and everything. But I think I'm gonna have to cross the border for this one. And what do you call it? And also the Force Unleashed stuff that I said I was going to do in the last episode, where I appeared on YouTube, and the old photos and the autographs I got from everybody who was there. Well, almost everybody. And I'm trying to post all those stuff up just so you guys can enjoy them. Something that I've been told before is, like, when I tell stories of whatever I've been through, people tend to believe them because I have videos and photos to back me up. And yeah, that's what I pride myself in. But yeah, so that's really what actually helped me motivate me. And I think about that, be like, I can't let myself down like that again, because one of these days I might be going up against somebody who's training, who hasn't neglected their training, and I'm just going to be absolutely handled. And that's embarrassing. The last time I got handled, it was because I was progressing so great in Muay Thai. I was just killing it with all these other people I was training with. And the only time I got handled was when I went up against one fighter who trained and competed for a living. That was embarrassing. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was really fun and everything. Side note about my hair is my hair actually has grown long enough that that my scar doesn't show. I'll probably put a photo of my scar, but it doesn't show anymore because I have a scar on the top of my head. And story time, I mentioned this a couple episodes back, I forgot which one, but I ended up getting jumped by 6 people on the 29th of October 2018 across the street from my old job, from when I used to work for the trains down here. And it was with me and my lady. That was literally the month me and her met for the first time, and when we started going out. And it was terrible. It gets me mad sometimes when I talk about it, because it's like, it's messed up. It's like really messed up. I guess this is why stories like Lauren Pazienza just like get to me personally. Whenever I see a story about people getting like jumped, gets to me personally. Whenever I see anybody getting their head busted open unfairly, gets to me. because it's just like, not just because it's sad, especially when it happens to people who are just trying to live their own life and not bother anybody else, but because it's just like, people who do that stuff are just cowards, and they're one of the lowest forms of people ever, and they suck. For me, it's like, look, I don't mind getting into fights in the streets. I really don't. I've done them growing up. I've done them a lot being down here, and I know I'll continue doing them as the years pass by. I don't mind it. What I do mind is when somebody tries to pick a fight, and when they get it, they realize they're losing, and they do some shady stuff to try and win. And that's what gets to me. You know, I only have 19 minutes left in my battery. Damn, I used all of it. It's right here on my camera. It's let me see, 7, 8, 9, boom. It's an hour and 31 minutes right now as I'm saying this. And it says I have 19 minutes left. Sure. It's like an hour and 40. I should really see if they can get a bigger battery, because like, honestly, I still have 2 hours and 33 minutes left on this SD card. So yeah. Excuse me. So yeah, so it's just like the whole thing. I'll try and speed through this. Is basically what happened is these two people showed up, and they weren't targeting me. Maybe they were. I don't know. And I'll explain why in a bit. But they were asking my lady some weird questions. You know, are you racist? Are you racist? You see, my woman, she's half Mexican and half Spanish, but she has very, very light skin and everything. Guatemalan and Mayan. I have very brown skin. So they were asking this only to her. She's like, what? No, what? And everything. Keep in mind, these people were black. That's the whole thing. It's just like, holy crap, what the hell? I started getting mad because I'm like, who are you to be asking her this? You know, we don't even know you and everything. They called two dudes there. One of them was significantly bigger. He probably had I would say a solid 6 inches more in height than me. Yeah. I'm 5'10". He was like 6'4". So here's the thing. It was escalating to the point where I knew that something was gonna happen if I don't get her away from here fast enough. I was gonna grab her and be like, look, I'm taking you back to work, because she used to like taking me halfway to, before I drove to the station so I can catch the train home. So I was like, I'm taking you back to work, which was only like a block and a half. Before I can do that, I looked to my side, and that's when I realized that one of them had gone around a fence that was only waist high and sucker punched my lady in the face. Not me. No, not me. They weren't doing anything to me. They had to go to her. I lost it. I lost it. I could have jumped over that fence, but I didn't think. In my mind, I wanted her to know that I'm going after her and everything, because it was a chick who punched her. Anyways, these dudes, as I'm running, were started punching me as I ran. I get to the one who punched my lady, and next thing you know, I'm having 3 other dudes on top of me and everything, but I'm still standing. And when I'm standing, I take 2 of them down and everything, just knock both of them down, turn around, start taking down the backup and everything, start taking 2 more of them down. And here I am fighting against 4 people by myself. And next thing you know, it's like everything was happening fast and slow at the same time. Because I knocked down 4 people at this point who were getting up. And I was going to start fighting them again. I had beaten down 4 people and everything, one by one and everything. And they were getting up to fight me all at once. And all of a sudden, I see from the top right corner of my vision, these hands diagonally coming down to me and trying to choke me. Trying to do a full rear naked choke. Here's the thing. All my time doing jiu-jitsu, competing with jiu-jitsu and everything, being a blue belt, only a blue belt. I know I'm not worthy of that blue belt anymore. But instinct kicks in. I see this guy. I don't know who the hell he is. I know he's bigger than me because when his arms are coming down on me, he was doing it from an upward diagonal position. What do you call it? I knew he was going to try and choke me. I put my chin down to try and block the choke as much as possible. And in my head, I'm thinking, you're trying to choke me. That's my game. I turn around, and as I'm like starting to break out from his grip and everything, I'm feeling just hits and hits going against my ribs. And I knew it wasn't the 4 of them. And I knew it wasn't this 5th guy. So I'm just like, some 6th dude came down and everything. So I get out of this dude's grip and I start throwing some elbows on him. I start fighting the 6th guy. Next thing you know, the 4 come in. And here I am. I'm fighting 6 dudes at once. Me taking on 6 of them by myself. And I am still standing. They aren't taking me down. I'm not even rocked. I've been rocked before, but that was back in high school when I was fighting somebody who actually did years and years of Muay Thai while I was only doing American kickboxing for the past year or so in high school. That was the last time I got rocked. I was 18. Here I am, 24, and none of them were able to rock me at all. And I'm just fighting and I'm fighting them. And all of a sudden, I realize that I'm on one knee on the floor. And I know they're hitting me, but I can't feel it. And I'm just thinking, like, how did I get down here? And I swear I hear some glass breaking to the right of me. And I see some shards falling. I'm like, okay. So I get up. And as I'm getting up and swinging, I'm on my knee again. Just on one knee, keep in mind. I don't know why I'm on my knee. And I feel something flowing down from my head. I'll be honest, I thought they were pouring gas on me to burn me. That's what I thought. I don't know why it went through my head that, but yeah. Until I realized that I started seeing red. And I don't mean that as like, oh, I got so much rage. So rageful that I knew I had to kill him. No, it's not like that. I literally started seeing red because my eyes are being covered in my own blood. And all that moisture I felt flowing down my head, onto my neck, down everywhere, was because there was a huge gash on the back of my head with so much blood just pouring straight out of it. Yeah, I started getting beat down on the floor. And yeah, I was starting to stand my way up until they gave up. And I noticed that they were running away. They were talking smack, but they were running away. And I'm like thinking, I'm not knocked out. I haven't been rocked once. And I was still trying to fight, and they're running away. 6 dudes from me are running away. Why? Why? I'm one man, and you're running from me. Like, I wasn't stopping, and you're the one giving up. Yeah, that's what happened. It turns out these ad medics called for me and everything. PD was called. I gave my statement and everything like that. It turns out, how do you say it? The reason I got on my, The reason I got on my knee the first time was because somebody, this is from witness reports, somebody grabbed a glass bottle, ran up to me, and smashed it against my head, which explains the reason as to why I heard glass hitting the floor right next to me. I didn't even know that happened. I didn't even feel that happen. I didn't feel a lot of hits. I'll be honest with you right now. I didn't feel a lot of the hits that were given to me. And I definitely did not feel that bottle. And here's the scary part. The thing that did it was the fact that after that happened and I was on a knee, as I was getting up, somebody got one of these rentable Razor scooters, lifted it over their head, and reports said that it was like the bigger guy, lifted it over his head and absolutely smashed it down onto my head, which explains as to why I was on the ground the second time. And that's what did it. That's what started making me bleed a lot from my head. And I had no idea. Like, I really had no idea until I got a copy of the reports. I ended up, having to go to the hospital. I was trying not to. I was actually the one trying to calm my lady down because she was crying. And I was trying to calm her down and be like, listen, don't cry. No, it's okay. It's fine. This, and that. Don't be scared. I actually told the medics guy, I was like, no, I'm good. I'm just going to wash it up at home. He's like, dude, you have a giant opening on your head. You're going to the hospital. They did some scan work on me and everything like that. She ended up getting cut on her finger that she needed stitches. We don't even know how. Like, to this day, I have no idea how that happened. But I ended up having to get like 16 staples on my head. And yeah. And so I kept that in for like a month. Managed to be able to get my staples removed somewhere in downtown. And just needed it to continue healing. Haircuts were trouble for a bit. I had to continue telling the people who were cutting my hair, I was like, hey, listen, there's a scar on this side. And they're like, oh, yes, I see it, And they're like, yeah, if you can just lightly work around that area, please. I'm scared of it opening again and stuff. That was just my fear. And they're like, yeah, no problem. Don't worry, and everything. Other than that, I thought my scar was pretty cool. It definitely is a conversation starter and everything. Don't worry, I think those guys got arrested later on for ended up doing the same thing to another guy, which actually led to his death. So yeah, which is crazy because like when the doctors and nurses and even the police officers who responded when they went to go see me in the hospital and everything, they when I gave them the story and we were just like talking, every single one of them said the same exact thing. They were like, yeah, no, dude, honestly, they were trying to kill you. And it was like, you were supposed to be dead and everything. And I was like, holy cow, because I'm like, think about it. Just like Lauren, you don't shove an 87-year-old elderly woman and have her hit her head on the concrete and everything because you just want her to have an inconvenience. No, she's dying. And you know what's going to happen. And that's the same thing with me. You don't use 6 dudes to jump one guy and then smash a bottle and then just put a scooter over your head and slam it on the floor on their head just thinking that you want to inconvenience them. No, you're trying to kill them. And so, yeah. So that's what they were all saying to me. And I was just like, yeah. But it is a conversation starter. It is. And then, like, I remember a couple of people I was just like, we were talking about, I was like, yeah, no, I forgot how the conversations would go, but I would almost get the same reaction from people when it was when we were just talking at work or some shit. And then they'd be like, yeah, I was just like, yeah, because of the scar on my head and everything. And they're like, yeah, I kept seeing it. I didn't know if it was picky. I wasn't trying to talk about it. And I was like, oh, don't worry. And then I would tell them I would tell them the photos. I would show them the photos and about telling them the story, and they'd be like, oh my God. And it's just like, yeah, no. But honestly, it's like, for me, I don't mind the scar. I see a lot of people being like, oh no, we need to fix this cut quickly, this and that, or else it'll leave a scar. Why is that a turn off? Honestly, a lot of the scars that I got, I'm actually proud of them and everything. because it's just the reminders of what I've been through and when I survived, as corny as that sounds. But yeah. And yeah, no, there's nothing else to add. That's just the whole thing. Oh yeah, one thing I kept speculating was, because one thing that they told me was, hey, your job isn't going to help you now. And what I think it was because when I was at the trolleys, there was a while where these specific people would go and like they were young people and some older people would go around and do a string of jumpings for people who were just trying to get from point A to B on the trolleys. And there was twice where code 3 was called from our end and from SDPD's end, because there was just an all-out battle happening in the middle of the street from between us and them. And I've been involved in both of them. So I'm positive that if that was the case, then they most likely recognized me, because that was shortly after I finished working for the trolleys. But yeah, no, I didn't think the Mando episode was gonna conclude in such a thing, it's just in this level. It's crazy because I think I only have only 3 minutes left, and we are an hour and 46 minutes left into this recording. Holy cow, I just love talking. I don't know, it's gonna be the lengthiest episode to date, unless I get a bigger battery or get a second battery to continue. Biggest episode to date. I love it. I love that I started this. Oh yeah, and I think I'm gonna post this up as best as I can. I got stickers for the Mind of Mando podcast. I got stickers. There's some places here in San Diego that because San Diego loves stickers for some reason, especially in the touristy areas or restaurants. They love stickers. So I'm gonna take these stickers and I'm just gonna go and place them in areas where stickers are to be placed. Hopefully people see them. Hopefully people tune in and everything. I only got 19 now. I used one for my filing cabinet right next to my bed, because I love placing stickers there. And I'm just gonna go around, hopefully post them around, get people's attention, and they tune in some more. Well, guess what? I hope you guys enjoyed the jazz music in the background. I hope you guys enjoyed the faint sound of my cat's water fountain happening. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Mind of Mando. I have been your host, Armando Ortega. Take care of yourselves. Find something that you love to do and go at it. All right, guys, take care. See you next time. See you.